All right, so last week we were talking about just getting the diagnosis from the customer, and now we're going to be looking at creating estimates here. Okay. Yeah, Michael says they're in the, let's see here, a big rig truck shop, or a big rig truck stop repair. Oh, okay. So it might be like a location that's on the highway where you're not getting a lot of, it's like a breakdown customer kind of thing that you're experiencing more on a regular basis, not like regularly scheduled appointments, I presume. So everyone's just getting in as soon as they can. So first thing for working with your estimates here, I have my lovely picture of a timing belt. Is when we're looking at labor and also parts for the estimate, you're going to want to check and see if there's any shared labor things that might get added on the job here. Like looking at the timing belt, when you go in to see where that time is, it'll give you like a specific time for the vehicle, but then usually there's about half a dozen things that you can add on, like tensioner, water pump, there's seals there as well. So checking to see if there's any additional labor time that job might need. The next thing I recommend doing is going to ask the technician who diagnosed the job if they anticipate, if anything, there might be complications, like could something be seized? I know a few technicians mentioned on here as well, depending on what area you are in, you can have extreme rust and just assuming that things can break on certain jobs. So as service advisors, we want to come and check in with the technician to see if anything like that is anticipated so that we can prepare the customer for that. And then the next thing I like to do is, if you have access to it, is doing a brief read through of the procedure, and that'll give you hints if there's any parts that might need to be added on that aren't included, like little gaskets in certain areas, or sometimes one time only use bolts and such, making sure that you have those on hand. I can tell you from personal experience, it's miserable when you have like all of the dozen parts that you need for the job to get it complete. You think it's going to happen, and then you just need a couple of bolts, and you need to get them from the dealership and make it happen as soon as you can. So I always try to make sure that I cover all of my bases there. And then the last one is, if it's also a job that I'm not familiar with, I like to use the computer system to look up the same or a similar vehicle, like let's say, for example, this timing belt job. If you look in your part supplier, it'll tell you what range of vehicles that kit would fit, for example. So I put it into the search thing of the computer and look up timing belt job and see if it's been done on similar vehicles, and see what other parts that we might need for it as well. Like, oh, okay, we did need this extra bolt on here on this job, so maybe I should have that on hand and on the estimate when I'm quoting it out as well. Worst case, we don't need it and we can send it back, right? But being more prepared is better than not.